What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. This episode is very different, all right? This title is probably going to be something along the lines of, like, exposing myself. So, I am a 13-year-old girl, okay? Let me just start out by saying that. I waited in a 3 to 4 hour line at VidCon, okay? I bought tickets to my first VidCon, waiting in line, paying to see this guest, okay? I'm the biggest fangirl of this guest, okay? I begged my mom to take me to the mall every time that there was a new collection at Aéropostale, okay? I owned everything this person had ever launched. If it was a necklace, I still have my necklace because it's a special part of my life. She's laughing. I literally still wear my favorite cardigan. And what else? I wrote things down. Basically, I am going to just, throw it all out to this person, all right? Sitting here for an hour with the one and only my queen, my life, my energy, Bethany Mota.
What the heck? Wait, why did I not know like 80% of what you just said?
Because I'm a fangirl.
Oh my gosh. Like I knew like you would wear the stuff like years ago, like back in the day. And I saw you, I think you sent me a picture like a couple weeks ago of still wearing the cardigan.
Love it.
But like I didn't know it was to that degree. No. I'm so sorry to your mom.
My mom on the way here, I was like, oh yeah, like I have this podcast to this podcast. She's like, Bethany Mota? She's like, wait, you did not tell me. And then she was like, make sure, because I forgot too. Like I didn't remember that. I literally went to the mall. She was like, oh, make sure you mention that you like begged me to take you at the launch because if someone was there before you, maybe you couldn't get the whole entire collection.
Oh my gosh.
Like my motivator necklace, dude.
Oh yes, the peace heart. Oh my gosh, I really didn't know it was to that level. I'm sorry.
Dude, Steve is gonna try to find this one photo of me meeting you for the first time. It's somewhere, like, I guarantee you can just type in, like, Jordyn Jones Bethany Mota on Google and, like, these photos will come up. Hopefully,
you're probably like a foot shorter.
I think I had like a sock bun when we first met.
That was actually the trend then.
I think so.
Those little donuts at Claire's that yeah.
And I remember when I was like actually invited to VidCon and like performed, I met her again, her, in like a hallway, and I like took another picture. And then like from that point on, I was like, you guys, I can't be a fangirl anymore because like people are fans of me, and I'm in the hallway of like VidCon, like being a fan, but also like being invited and like on the roster meeting people. So I was like, okay, this is my time to chill out, to stop stalking people and like, be like, all right, I need to be chill with these people because I can't be asking them for photos no more. Because now, like, when I'm in, like, the BeautyCon, like, waiting room and people are coming up to you, it's like, okay, like, I'm glad I, like, knew before because, like, it's odd, like, if you're invited to, like, a green room or something, like, that's the green room where people can chill and, like, be away from fans, and then you're just, like, asking them for pictures. I'm glad I learned.
Yeah.
I learned.
I think you should have still done it. Embrace the moment. If you can be in that green room, like, take advantage of it,
right?
Honestly.
I guess, but, it's just, like, a whole thing. But, this is overall a lesson, and, like, when people say, I started YouTube, like, I grinded it out, look at where I am. You guys, used to be her freaking biggest fan. I grinded myself on YouTube. I was like, I inspired to be this girl. So many people, out there are, like, trying to be a YouTuber or, like, do it. And, like, hello, sitting here, you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Look at us.
There's so much to talk about, you guys. She is a YouTuber. She's a founder of Atom and Matter, which I got a PR package from Bethany Mota.
I love that so much. I really remember when you were like way smaller. You were like really little. Like we really grew up.
Let me see if there's a photo in our DMs right now because there so is. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I would love to see that.
I mean, I said, hey, girl. Oh, my God. You answered. Oh, my God. Okay.
Wait, was
May
it a DM?
4th, 2014. I said, hey, girl. May 9th, a couple days later, hi, thanks for wearing the clothing line. It looks fab on you.
I said fab? I would never say that now. I would never say fab.
And then there was nothing until 2019. So there's no picture, which is odd. I might have deleted it because I think when I invited you to my release party, I think I must have deleted some weird photos and mentions and probably hundreds of them, you know what I'm saying, when I like tag you and you know what I'm wearing. Probably unsent.
Unsent. I was getting a lot of unsent notifications. That was probably you.
It was probably me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm like, okay, like, you know, 2014 me is different than 2019 me. And I can't have her seeing this.
No,
like,
yeah.
Even though she remembers.
I get it. No, I do remember you would post like photos in the clothes. I remember a specific picture. It was like little you. I think you were in like New York City.
Yep.
In the streets. And you were like wearing the collection. I was like, she's the queen.
So, yeah, and there, I remember I was at a football. Like, this was one of like my first like most liked photos. I was at a football game and I had popcorn. I had the best cardigan on, the cardigan.
Yeah.
And that was just like one of my most liked pictures. And I remember I'm like, I always tagged her. I always tagged Aéropostale. And I remember Aéropostale would repost me. And I'm like, see, she knows who I am. Look at me. Well,
oh, that's so good.
So I want to jump right in and talk about how clearly you have been loved by so many girls. You started so young. What's your YouTube journey like from the beginning and like to where you are now? Like, jump into the YouTube journey for us.
Okay. Wow. Well, what part? Let's see. There's been a lot.
Like, when did you start? How young?
Well, I started in 2009 and I was 13. We're 25 now, so I've been doing it for a while.
Old girl.
We're old. I try not to think about that. But yeah, it's been a while. And when I got into it, it was like, obviously, if you're familiar with, you know, YouTube back then, it was very different. Like, nobody did things with the intention of having a career.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. But like, I really had no idea
Literal
that I could.
OG.
I didn't know I could make money. I didn't know, you know, that this would be something that would even last me longer than a couple months. I really just found it as like a fun hobby.
Yeah.
I was also just going through a lot mentally at the time. I was like dealing with depression and a lot of insecurities. And so for me, it was just like an outlet to actually talk. Because growing up, it was kind of like a known thing that people just thought I didn't speak because I was so shy. I had like not very many friends. So for me, that camera was really like my best friend. And when I posted that first video, I was like, whoa, this is like so invigorating. Like I can actually have a voice for my entire life. I thought that no one could hear me. And so after that first video, it got maybe like 20 views, and then I kept watching it. Like, I kept refreshing it, and I was like, it's going up. We're at 100.
60, 90, 2,000, 7,000.
Yeah, and then I remember when it hit, like, I think 1,000 views, I was like, this is insane. This is more than just me.
I'm quitting everything. I'm leaving school.
Yes, oh my God. I am a celebrity.
Yeah, famous. Who wants a picture? Jordyn Jones does. I already know. She's waiting right there.
She's waiting. Yeah, so, like, when it started to grow, it was definitely gradual. It wasn't, like, an overnight thing for me personally. But I just fell in love with it more and more, and I really loved just, like, you know, being creative with it and kind of taking videos that were out there and innovating them, and just to be amongst, like, at the time, it was, like, Michelle Phan, Juicy Star 07.
Jenna Marbles, right?
Jenna Marbles, yeah. Yeah, like Blair Fowler and Elle Fowler were like, I was like, I want to be like them. So that's kind of like what my videos started as. And then I kind of got to a point where I was like, I want to be more myself, because I felt like I was being too perfect all the time, and just started having more fun with it. And that's when I noticed that the growth started to happen more, is when I started like to just be more of myself at the time.
Of course. Yeah, I was literally just going to ask you, like, from, 2009, when was there like a point where you were like being like a famous YouTuber? Like, how many years did it take for you to be like, noticed, or like really making a living, or like having meet and greets? Like, did it all happen like gradually, or is there like 1 month where you were like, holy crap, like I'm making money, I have fans, I have a plaque? Like what was that like from the beginning of you getting 1,000 views to hundreds of thousands?
That was definitely, I think, a couple years.
Nice.
That I remember.
I feel like it was like 2013, 2014 where I was like Bethany Mota, you know?
Yeah, I think it started to really rise a lot more in like end of 2011, 2012 is when I started to notice kind of like the uptick in everything.
Yeah.
Is also when it started to kind of transition into a little bit more of a business. I started getting emails about like managers and agents, and I was like, I don't want to do any of this. There was
no brand deals back then, were there?
Not really. It was more of like if you just got something sent to you for free, it was a really big deal.
Yeah.
Like I remember I would get like soaps and like different things sent to me and I was like, oh, this is insane. Like no compensation. It was just like getting things gifted was just huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was kind of around the time like 2012 where I started to notice the rise in everything. And I was a little uncomfortable at first with the fact that like this was a career. I didn't really know how to grasp that because it was,
I still feel like I don't know why.
Yeah, it's because, you know, as creators, it's such an emotional art and such an emotional craft.
Yeah.
So then when you have to think about the business side, which is nothing but logic, it's really hard to mend the two and to kind of remain happy.
Yeah.
So that was something that I struggled with a lot until it kind of I accepted, you know, this is actually a good thing. The fact that you can make a living out of what you love doing is ultimately the dream for everybody. So to be able to do that is actually a huge privilege. Young. Yeah. At that time too, it was like I couldn't even understand fully what was happening because I was so young.
Mainly like look up to your parents and like people around you, but when you're on such a different, like you're doing something so different than everybody else, because a lot of people are, you know, having 9-to-5s at that age, or like you're even like too young to have like a 9-to-5, or you're making more money than your friends or your parents almost, and it's just like you feel like it's almost not fair, and you're like, well, I'm doing something that I love, but these people are like literally like busting every day. And then it's just like, that's why I'm like, I don't think that this is fair. Like, that's how I am. Like, still to this day, it's just like, like, how is this a thing? Why is there so much money here?
Yeah.
And it's just like, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm doing something for 10 seconds. And it's just like, phew.
Yeah.
And you used to just get gifted things. And now you, like, and I used to, like, same thing for Aéropostale. Dude, I was your freaking biggest ambassador for free. I was the biggest Bethany Mota Aéropostale ambassador for free. I bought everything. I posted. I tagged. I did hashtags. That is the way to go, dog.
Yeah.
Like, and then you just look at, like, now it'd be like, oh, my God, like, I can't tag them. Like, either there's exclusivities, and there's just so much that goes into it that's just, like, you know, now you feel like you can't even, like, fly or have a trip because, like, you can get it for free. Like, it's just so different from being an influencer, being a YouTuber, starting out so young, and then just, like, getting things free is just a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever been in the position where you were just like, well, I can get this for free, so, like, I should probably just pay for it, or I should hit them up so that I can get it, like, for free and give them love?
You know what's crazy is I didn't really do that much. Like, I think, honestly, more recently now, I've realized that we can do that.
Yeah.
And even sometimes, like you said, it feels very weird. Like, I almost feel like I just want to get it myself.
Yeah. Especially because, like, say if it's something that's, like, a certain amount, you're like, well, this costs this amount, but to post about it would cost this amount, so I should just buy it.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of that. And I just think, like, in general, it's just always felt very weird to me. Like, I remember, I don't know who it was, somebody in, like, the beauty community, like, way back in the day. I had only been doing it, I think, for, like, 4 years. And so things were, like, rising. And I was talking about, like, a product that I wanted to try. And she was like, just tell him to send it to you. I was like,
yeah.
What? Like, why would I do that? Like, that's so wrong.
Yeah.
It always just felt very strange to me to get things for free.
Yeah. Like, especially, like, nowadays, like, people will still say that to me. Like, Jordyn will be like, shopping in the mall, and I'll be at a store. And I'll be like, oh, like, I really want these. But, like, even if they're, like, cheaper or whatever, like, even if it's, like, Fashion Nova, say, like, you can just get anything sent to you from Fashion Nova. Like, it's absolutely crazy. So, like, now it's just, like, wow, I probably just shouldn't buy that because they'll just like send it to me and then I'll have to like do a story for them. But you love the clothes and you would promote it anyways because you promote things that you like. And that's a good question. Have you ever like promoted something that you just didn't like or didn't feel organic to like your brand, but you were like, okay, there's some, good money here, so I should probably just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To be honest, like, I really can't think of one. I know that sounds like I'm lying, but I'm not, because I've said no to so many people in the past before, almost too much.
Yeah.
Where it's like, from a logical business standpoint, some people would probably be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching your videos, I feel like you never really promoted much.
I really didn't. And I think, and I still am like very particular about the brands that I work with, and I just always have been, because I feel like the trust with your audience is so important. I genuinely see them as friends. Like, I don't know if that's like sad, but I do. Like, I really do. And I create like real bonds with a lot of people that watch my videos. Not everybody, obviously it's hard, but like I genuinely see them as like, you know, friends. And so to lie to somebody about something and to actually, the thought of having someone spend money on something that I don't believe in is just like not what I believe is morally correct. So I have really never done it. And so I've said no to a lot of brands before that otherwise, business-wise and financially speaking, probably would have been a good move. But I just feel like it's such a better payout long-term when you stick to what you really love.
Yeah, like I totally understand, because like literally like being a fangirl is like totally different than being an influencer, I feel like. And I'm glad that I have like, my 14-year-old self, because that is like a way of thinking like, okay, especially like if I was eating at a restaurant and like most people, like I'm weird in that aspect, like most people would be like, oh no, like I can't, or like if I'm with family, like I can't take a picture with you. But at the same time, it's like having that like fangirl past, I'm like, I know how devastating it is to just say no when it takes 2 seconds. It could literally take 0.2 seconds, or it could take 5 minutes. It doesn't matter how much time you give someone. It's just like, even if you give them 0.2 seconds, it makes their week, it makes their life. Like, so because I have that, it's just like, especially when you're saying like posting about something that you don't necessarily like, it's like, I would literally buy anything that you posted about or anything that you said. Not saying that I did, but I'm just saying like, I was that much of a fan that it's like, if you posted Lush, I would love Lush. I would buy Lush because you said that you liked it. And if someone really is a huge fan, they're going to literally buy whatever you want. So I get that you're saying that if you have this brand that you don't like, then you wouldn't post about it, because then you're saving people money and like, heartbreak over what she doesn't actually like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, like you literally have been on YouTube so long that you've grown up. Like I know, I was talking to Lauren about this, that it's like every YouTuber got in a meeting. They had a group chat or a meeting that they were like, all right, we're going PG-13 in 3, 2, 1, like launch. So like in like Bethany Mota, like the queen, the beauty guru, the most innocent, lovable little bean is now also just doing truth or drinks. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I asked her the same thing. I was like, did you just like, how, because it was all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? I don't really think it was gradual, because how everyone was just being more drained, and like they didn't want to lose the viewers or the, the true fans. But you guys are 25 now, 27. It's like, you need to grow up, and like your audience mainly grows with you if they were OGs at the same age as you when you started. So like, what was that like, transitioning and like growing up in front of millions of people and like having pressure on you of like what you can and can't post or say?
Oh, girl. It's been a journey.
Yes.
It honestly, I could say it started for me a very long time ago, probably end of 2014, I would say.
Yeah.
Is when I started to feel, up until that point, it's like, this is who I am. Who I am in my videos is truly 100% who I am in real life and who I feel inside. And then I started to feel that there were two different people around 2014 where I didn't know how to make that connection. And I found myself sprinkling a little bit of it here and there. For example, one was like clothes. Like on Instagram, I posted something showing a little cleavage. And people were like, what is she doing? And also I feel like in general, from then to now, society's been way more accepting and encouraging even of, you know, how women choose. Yeah, like however women choose to show their body in whatever way they want, and men as well. I think we've just been more accepting of that. And it's your body. You can do what you want. Back then, I feel like, especially with my audience and the content that I've given, and I think people seeing me as this, like, innocent girl, it was hard for people to grasp that.
Yeah.
Not that showing your body means you're not innocent, but, like, they're often, you know, tied together. So, yeah, that's kind of, like, when it started was, like, 2014. And honestly, it was, like, a struggle for a few years of trying to figure out, like, how can I be myself and my most authentic me and still be, you know, accepted. And I think that's what I had to accept, is that there may be some people that just don't like it.
And there probably still is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from 2014, and then, like, you were sprinkling it in, but then, like, there obviously was, like, a clear, like, okay, now she is who. I feel like now you're, like, more who you want to be and, like, more your age, and you are growing. You're not doing, like, the same content that you were doing. So, like, what was, like, the truth or drink freaking, like, the new, like, 2020, 2021 YouTube you mindset?
Well, I took a little bit of a break. I mean, I've taken various breaks, but I took kind of like a...
Oh, I know. I was heartbroken.
I'm so sorry. I would say for me, my biggest break around, I think, 2019, I think.
Yeah.
That was like 6 months or something. And in that time, for me, it was such a growing moment of, like, acceptance and figuring out who I was and just personal growth in general. And so I feel that after that break... And also, I think seeing in the community that other girls were doing this as well, because I think we all struggled with that.
Yeah.
At least in the lifestyle community. It was inspiring to see that and to see them being like, this is really who we are. And I thought, you know what, I want to do that as well in, you know, my own way and whatever I feel is right for me. Which for everyone, it might not be doing a truth or drink, because some people don't drink. You know, it's like, it's whatever that is for you of that.
It's just like showing the most authentic you, I feel like, and having fun with what you're doing.
Yeah. And so for me, it was like, I think the first one I did was like answering the assumptions about me or something.
That was big. I feel like that was the start.
That was like the first big one for me.
Yeah.
Because I would never do something like that in the past.
No.
Like, I would never talk about those things. So that for me was like, okay, I'm going to give myself permission to do this. And honestly, I can say what I think the root of being able to do all of this now, whether it's truth or drink or assumptions or just giving myself the freedom to be whatever I want online, I think it just comes down to eliminating the fear of losing anything. I think I was so afraid of losing things for so long, especially when you're at the top. That was one of my most stressful times. Yeah. Is like, because you have everything that you're so afraid of losing it, at least in my experience.
Yeah, because you don't know if you switch it up or you change it, if people will still be accepting of it. Yeah. Or grow with you.
Right.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I'm a fan of this whole new, like, YouTube, everyone just, like, growing up. Like, I feel like it got to a point where it's like you were starting to lose your older people. And I feel like Lauren said, she was like, I was losing some of the people who were just, like, 21 and didn't want to see, like, a DIY school box or, I mean, a lunchbox, school box, like a DIY lunchbox anymore. She's like, now, since I've started a podcast and she's, like, grown up on YouTube and she's been more, like, adulty, let's just say, she's like, these people have came back now. So have you seen, like, any people come back to who didn't like the younger favorite content that you were doing before, or do you feel like everyone has just, like, stayed, or you don't have any, you just have new people instead of, like, old people that, like, didn't like the new content? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen a shift, and I feel like there have been older people that have come back, and then also I've seen a lot of newer people come as well, which is really cool. Yeah. Also, I just feel like the communication between me and the audience is the most authentic and raw that it's ever been, because I'm showing them a true side of myself. I feel like I'm seeing a true side of them as well, which is really cool. Because, yeah, for a moment there, it was almost like it was split. Like, when I was still doing, like, my old type of content, there was people that still really liked it. And then there was people that could tell that there was something off about it compared to the past, because it wasn't truly up to speed of, like, who I was at that point. So, yeah, I feel like when I've started to shift things, which, by the way, I do feel like there's still a lot of things about me that are the same. Like, I'm still me.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
You know, my personality and, like, everything about me is, like, I've carried with me over the years, and that will never change. So it's almost just like I'm unlocking more doors and showing new things to people, which I feel like is bringing new people in. And then, like, people that might have shied away when they didn't vibe with the content a few years ago are now coming back, which is cool to see too.
Yeah, and like how you say that you are like opening more doors. I know that like something that you've been more open about is like your new relationship. And I feel like in the past, like you either didn't have any booze or they were all secret.
I just didn't have any booze. I had no booze.
You had to have had a little boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
That you just didn't want to show, or you're just too busy.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it was. To be completely real, like, when I was, like, I was doing,
oh my God. I just went back in time.
What?
Oh, my God. I, like, was so, you know what I'm saying? I was watching every video. I had this whole thing in my mind that, oh, my gosh, she's here with a boyfriend. I think it was, like, you were somewhere at, like, a snowy house. I don't know if it's like Big Bear or you rented a house and you were like creating content there for the weekend or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's here with a boyfriend and he's like the videographer and she's not showing who she's with, so she's clearly with a guy.
What a storyline, Jordyn.
I know, because you know, I was just trying to figure it out. I was like, come on, like beautiful girl. Obviously she has a boyfriend, but she's so like secretive. So there was never a boo.
I think the video that you're talking about, if I remember, I think that was in like 2015.
I think so. It was like a long time ago.
That was my sister. She filmed like all my stuff back then. Like my sister and my dad shot all my stuff. Yeah, at that point, I really, you know, I was not trying to date. I think for so many years, I was doing like 3 videos a week at one point on my main channel, and it really became my life.
Yeah.
And I was grinding really hard, which is cool, but at the same time, I genuinely didn't have much of a social life, and I think that's, for me, was one of the turning points as well that made it a little more dark.
Yeah.
Is that...
And you're literally a teenager when a lot of teenagers have total freedom.
Yeah. And I didn't do a lot of like those teen things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was to the point that, like, if I got invited to, like, go to the movie theaters, I was like, that is 2 hours that I could be working on a video.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to gain nothing from this movie, so I can't go. And now I look back on that, I'm like, that is the sort of stuff that literally keeps me sane and keeps me inspired, actually, in my work, is by having a social life and having friends and a relationship and going out and, you know, seeing other people.
So ultimately. This is, like, the first man.
Yes.
She has to think about it.
Well, like,
let's go there.
First, like, real relationship, yes.
She's like, there's been many guys that I've talked to, but this is my man.
This is my man. Yeah. This is, like, the first real relationship.
Do you know that, like, me and your man, we go way back?
Do you?
Yes.
Wait.
Dancer, hello.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, when I was, like, 12, 14, like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've just known him for forever. I mean, like, we've been in, like, same dance classes, like, same auditions, like, things. I was just like, you know, I'm going to mention that because she probably has no idea.
I have no idea. I mean, I know you guys are both dancers, obviously, but I didn't know that you guys were, like, or in the same vicinity of each other at one point.
Yeah, always. So, like, dancer, and then you got your little dance moment.
Yes.
Dancing with the Stars.
Dance moment.
So, I have a fun game.
Oh, okay.
And this is also for my TikTok fans, because this will be on TikTok. So, we are going to play a little game, and because you've done it all. She's done dancing, singing. Love this song. Making videos, designing, starting a brand. So we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
And I want you to rank those from favorite to least favorite. So I'll name them again. Singing, making videos, designing, meaning like Aéropostale, starting a brand, jewelry brand, dancing with the stars. So rank those.
I just forgot all of them. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know your life better than me. If there's anything I didn't mention, just like rank the things. Favorite to least.
This is so hard. Why would you do that?
Oh, I know.
Okay, let's see. Gosh, I feel like I have to put videos first, just because that's like what, like, you know, it's the reason for everything.
Yeah.
And so I feel like
that... And you did enjoy it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is my
parts.
home.
Yeah.
I will always be making videos to some degree. So that's probably the first one.
Okay.
Number 2, I would have to say probably designing.
Okay.
Just because it's so fun. And, like, even being able to do that again now has been a blast. So definitely number 2. Number 3, singing.
Wow, I thought that was gonna be last for some reason.
She's up there.
She is.
Number 4. Oh, that's so hard. Starting a brand, and then number 5 would be dancing. But I love dancing.
I feel like
though.
it was so much fun to be on Dancing with the Stars, you guys.
Yeah, I think it's just because that was like the furthest one. Like everything else is more recent in my life, so I'm feeling that now. But I do love dancing, and Dancing with the Stars was very fun, very stressful.
I'm gonna try to play something. You guys.
What is that?
On
my God!
On my phone.
No.
On my phone.
No.
2014, I think. Yep, baby.
Was that 2014?
Yep. Let me skip in a little bit.
Oh my God, that cover art, we love it.
This was my shower song, dude.
Was it really?
Oh, my shower song. I need another one. I need another song. Okay. So there was the game. So
that was the game.
Dancing with the Stars was your least favorite. I wanted it to be.
But it wasn't, though.
You just had a lot of fun.
I just love everything. I do love dancing, though. Like I that was like my ultimate goal before even starting YouTube. I wanted to be a dancer.
Yes.
And maybe that's why I dated a dancer, so that I could feel like I'm closer to the world.
I love it. So I do want to talk about your jewelry brand before we get into fan questions, because it's like your main baby right now, I feel like. So tell everyone where they can get it, how you started, and like honestly what it was like just creating a brand, because you haven't done that before, right?
No, not like this. I mean, the Aéropostale collection was very much a collaborative thing. It was like they were an existing brand.
Oh my God. You were like the person. I just remembered another thing. I remember when you first said like Aéropostale, you know what I'm saying? Said it correctly instead of like Aéropostale.
Yeah.
And I remember calling everyone being like, I knew it. She said it right. And it was a conversation in my life. Just had to bring that up. It's Aéropostale.
Aéropostale. Yeah, they corrected me actually, because I think I was even saying it wrong. They're like, hey, if we're going to work together, you need to know this.
You need to say our brand correctly. Thank you.
Yeah. So that was like very much a collaborative thing. It's like they were an existing brand. So this is my first time like actually kind of creating a brand from the ground up and all of that. And we talked about it, I think started like over a year ago. And it was just kind of like casual meeting talking about, you know, I really wanted to do something in the jewelry space. And especially kind of in like a slightly higher price point than like what the Aéropostale collection was.
You need to bring back the peace sign heart though.
We should. We really should.
You need to.
Maybe we will.
So from starting that brand, what was like the most, like the hardest part about starting it? And like, you know, did you ever have times where you were like, okay, like this is so hard? Because compared to just like posting YouTube videos, it's completely different, like owning a brand and like being the face of it and designing it. So like, what was like the hardest part? And were you ever like trying to be like, were you ever turning away from it and being like, maybe this is not for me? Like any struggles like starting a brand by yourself?
There are just so many decisions,
Yeah.
so many things to decide, which was probably the most intimidating part. Even like picking a brand name. It's like, no big deal. This is just going to be the brand name forever. Just infinitely the brand name. Can't change it. It'd be weird if you did.
Yeah.
So that was hard, you know, is like coming up with these big long-term decisions. Like as soon as you make this decision, it's permanent.
Did you have like a top 3 names that you had to like pick from?
We like drafted up like probably 30 names. However, the name Adam and Matter was the first name that popped in my head like when we were ever discussing names.
That's how you know it.
And usually I don't do that. Usually I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit here and overthink it for weeks. But I really didn't have the time to do that because we really were on like a rush timeline. So it was the first name. I was like, Adam and Matter. I love that. It's also Adam is my last name spelled backwards. So we have that little thing there. And just in general, the name to me is just about like inclusivity. We're all, you know, made up of the same things. We're all connected and all of that. And I just felt like it was the perfect name. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to doubt it. I'm not going to second guess it. It feels right. And so we're just going to go with it.
Love it. So tell everyone where they can buy it.
So you can get it on adammatter.com.
Yes, I love it. I have my pieces at home, and I wanted to wear my stuff today, and I forgot. I was in such a rush.
Oh, you're good. I'm wearing it for the
to.
both of us.
Please.
Boom, boom. Yeah, I really love everything. So we designed it for a few months. It was honestly kind of a quick process. And also doing it, obviously, during COVID, it was all just like Zoom calls. So that was a little complicated because I was like, I have to kind of really visualize what all this stuff is going to look like.
Was there like packages coming and samples coming to your house?
Eventually, yeah. But even with the samples, it's like we wanted to launch it. We launched November of last year, 2020. So it was like a time crunch. It's like I got the samples a few months before that, and so we didn't have a lot of time to do revisions. So, yeah, I did get the samples, and that was really exciting. There were some that I was like, don't love this. We're going to discard that, but that's like all the process of designing.
It's totally like crazy that, you know, you literally can make all the decisions. So if you don't like it, and then you don't have like anyone else being like, well, I do like it. Like, I feel like that's the difference of like being a like singer. I have like so many other people and like, you know, team members, I feel like that like have to have a say in like everything. But like I feel like it's different when you're a brand owner, then you get to make everything by yourself. Obviously you take other people's opinions, but at the end of the day, like, you know, if you like this one hoop over this other hoop, like you get to be the voice.
Yeah,
and you're the face.
That part is really fun. It is fun. It's like, oh, just ask me.
Yeah.
However, I do really like working with a team, and that's something I'm not used to. Like, even with YouTube stuff, I've had a team maybe for a few months out of my entire YouTube career. Like, I just do a lot of it myself. So collaborative work is something I'm not used to. However, I've really enjoyed it. It is nice to kind of like bounce an idea off of somebody. And yeah, it's like I don't have to say yes to it, but I think it's nice to realize I might not always know everything.
True, yeah.
And there's people on my team that probably know about certain areas better than I do, which is really nice to have that, you know, like second, third opinion.
All right. Well, again, big fan of everything that she does and absolutely love this girl. And I want to get into fan questions so that, you know, other OG fans get to answer and hear questions from her. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I have to get to my Instagram. And if you guys, again, want to be a part of the next one, just follow me on Instagram and you get to see the next little questions tab I do. Like the answering assumptions about me things. Okay. So first question is, what has been the biggest thing that you've learned through the years on being on social media? The biggest thing you've learned.
So many things. Let's see. I would say just how important it is to accept yourself and to also understand that obviously everything on social media isn't everything that it seems to be. You know, when I post photos on Instagram, I tend to pick the best one. Like, that's what we all do.
No, you don't. You pick the worst one. Like, we pick the best angles.
Yeah, we pick the best angles. And that's something that I've had to remind myself of is, like, the comparison. I think comparison is really easy to do on social media.
Standards.
Yeah, whether it's, you know, with numbers or, you know, physical features, body image, all of that. I've had to really kind of remind myself, like, not to compare and to look at myself as who I want to outdo. Like, I want to outdo me a year ago, and I don't want to outdo anybody else. And I want to, you know, be happy for other people and their achievements.
Yeah, that's the best mentality. Working on it. I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
No, I am. I'm good. I'm great. Okay. Which ones do I like? Okay. What was one day in your life that you felt like you have accomplished, like, the biggest thing? Like, your biggest accomplishment to this day, I guess, is kind of what they're asking.
Whoa. That's real hard.
I know.
That's real hard.
Because there's so many aspects in everything that you do.
Yeah. There's one that stands out for me. I know there are many more, so I don't want to discredit any other wonderful moments in my life, but I would say, which is funny because I chose dancing as my last favorite, but during Dancing with the Stars, I think it was like the finale episode. I had gotten eliminated, but I felt literally the most accomplished. I think for so many reasons. It's like being a YouTuber, going on live television, dancing on live television, so many firsts for me. And it was also just a big transformative time for me, like I think growing up in general, that night when it was like the finale and I was giving everybody hugs because it was like my time had ended on the show, I felt this like magical, euphoric feeling come over me that I was like, this is just a moment that like little me, when I was turning on that camera and I was like super shy, never thought I would be here.
On live TV.
Yeah, and it was this crazy moment where I was like, you know what, I can literally do anything that I want. Like, we're all capable of just doing anything because you may not think that that's in reach for you when it very likely can be.
Dancing's amazing. Okay, so who are your YouTuber friends that you're closest with?
I don't really have many YouTube friends. I mean, I know a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say, like, on a more deep personal level, really. Probably technically would be my boyfriend.
I was going to say it.
Because he's a YouTuber, which that's also been interesting, like, dating another YouTuber, which I never thought I would do.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's like, I would never date anyone in my, like, craft. And then, like, you do. Because you bond on it.
Yeah. I think it's also cool because it's like, yes, he is a YouTuber, but also being a dancer, it's like he has his own specific career path. So I don't necessarily consider him strictly a YouTuber, but I guess he's like the technically only YouTuber that I'm like really, really close with. Although I have met a lot of YouTubers over the years that I really love. And it's really nice to know other YouTubers because no one else really understands the world. So it's nice to have someone to like talk to about those things.
Yeah, especially, and like, I mean, with this year, you mean you can't really even like make new friends. So it's just like, you know, who you already had and you go with that. All right. Do you have any upcoming projects?
As of right now, I'm just like working on YouTube stuff again, and then we're just like designing a bunch for the brand, which has been really exciting. We're putting out a bunch of stuff this year, new collections.
I can't wait for my PR packages.
Yes!
But I'm moving, so I got to give you the new Addy.
Oh, give me the new Addy.
My mom, like this morning or something, she was like, just so you know, you have to let all those brands know that you're moving. And I'm just like,
isn't that a pain?
Because, like, most of them, like, I do have, like, PR and I do have agents, but at the same time, like, for some reason, I feel like the majority of things that come to my house is, like, me hitting up somebody to be like, oh, I want that, you know, give me that, like, new product or whatever it is. So it's just, like, I can't just be like, hey, can you guys please let everyone know that I'm moving? It's, like, I got to do it all.
You got to reach out one-on-one.
All right. Last question is, how do you cope with your haters? Well, technically, they're not your haters. They're just haters in general.
The haters. Well, this one has been a learning curve for me. I feel like I learned pretty early on because I remember getting my first hate comment back in the day. And low-key, I was kind of like, whoa, we made it.
Yeah, right?
We got a hate comment. Yeah. And then over time, I was like, okay, this is not fun anymore. I don't love it. You're starting to call out things that I already am insecure about. For me, what's helped is, honestly, I know everybody says it, but it's like just not taking it personally. I have learned that whenever anyone, in general, whether it's online or in real life, if someone is like exuding negative energy or bringing someone else down, it's usually because they're going through something. Obviously, they're not feeling on top of the world because, like, anytime I feel, like, full of love and confidence, I'm never trying to bring another person down,
Yeah. No.
So when I started looking at it from that perspective, I got less offended. And so it was easier to either ignore it or respond with positivity. One time I did do that. I responded to this girl that would like leave hate comments on all of my videos. And I said something just nice to her. I don't remember what it was. And then she like switched up real quick. And she was like, I'm so sorry. Like,
I love you. I'll try to get your attention.
So I think it's like not taking it personally is so important. And also just realizing that your opinion of yourself is really the only one that matters. As long as you love yourself and you're confident in yourself, it doesn't really matter what other people are thinking. And I've struggled with that a lot my entire life, which is one of the reasons why I was always so shy, because I was always thinking, what are they thinking of me? Or how do they want me to be? I just want to be accepted. So much that I was disrespecting myself during all of that. So I think once you start just not caring what's going on in other people's minds about you. It's easier to ask yourself what you want and who you want to be, and you will definitely be a lot happier doing that.
Preach. There is, like, I don't know, you're always so inspiring and, like, have the best advice. Okay, she needs a podcast. Podcast one, hit her up. She needs a podcast. She's amazing at advice. You're so just accepting and amazing, and I loved chatting with you. Where can they find you on social media? I know you already plugged your jewelry, but
yes,
your mains.
My handles are different for everything. Twitter, Bethany Mota. Instagram, Bethany Noel M, because someone took Bethany Mota.
I was obsessed with your middle name for forever.
Really?
Too. Yeah. I'm like, she goes by Bethany Noel.
Yeah, and then my YouTube is Bethany Mota.
Love it.
And TikTok is something.
Yes, TikTok.
Bethany.
She does it all.
I don't know what it is, actually.
She does it all.
We do it all these days.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me and letting me expose myself and, you know, be proud of my past.
Yes,
and
own it.
sit here and tell you how, you know, freaky obsessed I was. But it's okay because, you know what? I'm accepting, and it's my past, and
I love it so much. I love that I know that about you.
Yes.
Like, as much as I learned today. I didn't know that much.
Yeah,
and
she's
now
like,
I'm
so
like,
I'll never be texting her back because she's a freaky fan. Just kidding. I'm going to own it forever. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next Thursday with a new podcast. Make sure to rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and thank you, Podcast One, for having me. Bye!